Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, you'll see just how much fun the northwest part of Kansas can be in our story about the Land and Sky Scenic Byway. Next, learn why Dwight D. Eisenhower will be honored with the first national memorial of the 21st century. Then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at the unassuming buffalo gourd. Stay with us. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the yellow brick road. How come I always start?
You're the boss, Frank.
I don't know. Good morning. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And this is Around Kansas. So anyway, good morning. Do we have breakfast here today, or what?
You can't eat those. You know, in my attempt to educate the masses out there, the great unwashed who don't know about such things, buffalo gourds. I love just walking around picking up stuff, you know, and these things though have fascinated me. When I was a kid, Frank, my granny grew gourds. Did your folks grow gourds?
No.
Well, my granny, being the most creative person I ever knew, raised gourds, and she raised those long neck, the dipper gourds. Remember the dipper gourds? And you see a lot of craftspeople have them for birdhouses, and we did that, but we also actually used them for dippers. Frank, do you remember when you could actually drink from a dipper and nobody thought you were going to die if you drank from a common dipper? I mean, we drank from a dipper, and then we had dippers at church. I can remember when I was a kid, you'd go up to, we didn't have running water and restrooms and stuff in the church. We were lucky to have them in the house, much less in the church. So we had it on the pulpit, and everybody teases me about the way I say that, but in front of the pulpit, there was a little flower arrangement every Sunday, and then there was a dipper and a bucket of water.
Pool pit. I was thinking a pool pit. Okay.
Sue Ann Seal gives me grief about this all the time. Yeah, she and Betty Lou Pardue. You can ask them about how I say pulpit. But anyway, but I digress. Anyway.
So why are these called buffalo gourds?
I guess they were just around where the buffalo were. I don't know. But
so you made it up.
No, I did not make it up. I don't make this stuff up, right? You can't make this stuff, and I don't have to make this stuff up. But I've always loved gourds because Granny and I would, do all that stuff. So these, actually, there are two really pretty ones. I'll bring them out later because we're going to do a segment on gourds because I know you can't wait. We're going to talk about them.
Are we going to have to cut away? Because I'm waiting for her to tell us what this thing is, too. Anyway. I think we're going to have to go to the story on buffalo gourds or whatever these things are really called. This one's empty.
We're saving that for last, Frank.
Okay.
Actually, it should have some seeds. It's got seeds in it. If you listen closely, you're probably deaf. So anyway, since I would go out in western Kansas, in fact, one day Heather and I were out driving around, and I made Heather stop, our producer. I made Heather stop, and while I pulled up some buffalo gourd plants, I was going to bring them back to Topeka, and I forgot them and left them in the car. But now I have them just all around the house, so it's a great world.
Does she have buffaloes now in her car, or what?
No, we keep.
Sorry, that was bad.
That was joke. Bad. That was really bad. You can't wait to get to this, can you? We got some other stories to come in between, but I know you can't wait for the buffalo gourd story. Stay with us.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community. Visit the Territorial Capitol Museum, where more than 70 trees are displayed with thousands of antique and vintage ornaments, and be sure to stop in the gift shops in both Lecompton museums. Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. We're back. I'm going to sit up straight in my chair and behave.
I'll try.
Yeah,
All right. So we had the dedication of the latest, the Land and Sky Scenic Byway out in far northwestern Kansas. It was an awesome time, and I got to help with tours at Fort Wallace the day before, October 5th. You know, all the bigwigs are coming out. And that night we had stargazing on Mount Sunflower with our friend Brenda Culbertson. So remember Brenda from up near Holton, and she is at the observatory up there. Mm-hmm. And she came out to Mount Sunflower and helped educate people about all the stars. And I'm telling you, Frank, living out there, and we don't live in town, you know, we live out in the country. The sky is so big. It scared me the first couple of nights. Honestly, I'd walk outside and like, whoa, it's like being in outer space.
Yeah.
Because
well, you see the Milky Way and everything out there.
You see the Milky Way, and you just stars on the horizon in either direction. It's sort of something. But the Land and Sky Byway obviously celebrates the land and the sky, because it would include the Arikari Breaks and all that great different landscapes you get on the high plains. So it's beautiful, and visit the Travel Kansas website to find all the scenic byways that have been designated. I think this one's number 12. And they're just great little scenic drives and wonderful little communities, and it's just a great way to just bite off a little chunk of Kansas at a time and enjoy just a little piece at a time. The latest of the dozen designated scenic Kansas byways to be dedicated is in the far northwestern corner. The Land and Sky Scenic Byway follows 88 amazing miles along Kansas Highway 27 from Sharon Springs north to the Kansas-Nebraska state line. Travelers along the Land and Sky Scenic Byway have the opportunity to experience the Wallace branch of the Great Western Cattle Trail, scale the highest point in Kansas at Mount Sunflower, and explore the deep canyons and rugged landscape of the Arikari Breaks. Crossing Wallace, Sherman, and Cheyenne counties, this byway includes the towns of Sharon Springs, Goodland, and St. Francis. The byway is also the only one in the state that focuses on agriculture and features thousands of acres of rotating crops, livestock, and wildlife along the route. The Kansas Byways program was formed to identify and designate scenic roadways for the enjoyment of the traveling public in Kansas. It is related to the National Scenic Byways program, a project of the 1991 Intermodal Surface Transportation Efficiency Act, ICE-T. The National Scenic Byways program seeks to identify and designate national scenic byways to increase tourism and educate the traveling public about our nation's environment, history, and culture. These roadways serve as natural, social, cultural, and economic resources for the visitors to the state of Kansas, the people of Kansas, and the local communities in which the roadways are located. The program is a cooperative effort among private citizens, local groups, local governments, and state government agencies.
Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at two sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. And we're back again. You know, we were the 34th state, and we also had the 34th president. Isn't that interesting?
That's a cool fact, right?
Yes.
Did you vote for him?
Well, I wasn't quite old enough yet. Believe it or not, I'm older than anyway. But no, I was not old enough yet to vote for him. I was old enough to vote for his successor.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, we're talking about Dwight David Eisenhower, who, of course, had a brilliant military career and then became the President of the United States. And he grew up in Kansas.
And he often talked about Abilene and how much it meant to him and how much it meant to come from such a place. And I can remember going out there, maybe one of the first times I was in Abilene, and just looking down the tracks and thinking, this is a good place for a general or somebody with that kind of responsibility to be from, because that's a wonderful, quiet place you can go back to in your mind when it seems like everything is just craziness all around you. And Ike is one of, I think, only a couple of people, when he was president, it was like a step down from where he'd been Supreme Allied Commander.
Yeah. I do have a good story, though, about the Eisenhower Memorial.
It's a great story.
Congress approved the Dwight D. Eisenhower National Memorial in 1999. Since then, folks from Tom Hanks to Tom Brokaw have contributed to the memorial, honoring Dwight D. Eisenhower as the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in Europe during World War II and the 34th President of the United States. Senators Pat Roberts and Jerry Moran serve on the bipartisan committee overseeing the project, and Senator Roberts is chair. Why a memorial to Ike? Well, the committee has a lengthy list of reasons. First, Ike understood war as only a soldier could and believed the possibility of World War III, a nuclear war, would be unwinnable for mankind. He set in place a strategy for winning the Cold War that was followed and implemented by future presidents until the collapse of the Soviet Union. He was influential in bringing World War II to an end, and his efforts throughout the war, especially with the planning and execution of D-Day, stopped the Nazi war machine. He also ended the Korean War and maintained active communications with the Soviet Union during the Cold War. This memorial will not only tell the story of the young man from Kansas who became a great soldier, a U.S. president, and a world leader, but will also reflect the story of America, humble, isolated beginnings, and a rapid ascension on the world stage. Ike's example is an inspiration that through leadership, cooperation, and public service, we too can achieve the American dream and make a difference in the world. Eisenhower, like America, rose to the occasion with courage and integrity. Dwight D. Eisenhower's dedicated service to his country spanned 50 years. It's appropriate that the first National Presidential Memorial of the 21st century will honor President Eisenhower. If there was ever a moment in our nation's history to recognize a leader committed to both security and peace for the good of his nation and the world, now is that time. Designer Frank Gehry incorporated elements of Ike's roots in Abilene in the extensive memorial. He represents what we should all try to be, said the artist. Visit the website for more information.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fall is the best time to fertilize cool season lawns such as fescue or bluegrass. Fertilome Lawn Food Plus Iron is the best product available, formulated specifically for the Midwest.
It also contains iron and other micronutrients necessary for the greenest lawn in your neighborhood. Bring in a soil sample for a free pH test while you wait. We'll see you at Jackson's.
Our entire stock of shrubs, roses, berries, perennials, and trees are now on sale at 25% off.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
I had this horse. It was a good horse, except for when the wind was blowing above 30 miles an hour. Wind was blowing about 35, 40, and I saddled him up, rode him out to the end of the lane, and I thought, well, he's doing pretty good. And about 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulders sure hurt. I kept waiting, and it didn't get better, and so I went to orthopedic surgeon, and that showed that I had torn rotator cuff. And said, well, we'll have to do surgery. I thought, I farm and ranch by myself. This is not going to work out very well. I'd been sleeping in my recliner for about 2.5 years because it hurt too much to sleep in bed on my side. And I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio and gotten down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over. They just took some fat out of my side here and spun that down for about 45 minutes and then injected it in my shoulders, and I was on my way. It's something you don't hear about, but I thought it was worth a try, and I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest fort in the West. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
One of the great organizations for farm and rural youth historically was the 4-H Club, which is now open to youth from any setting, city or rural. But this is my tribute to the 4-H Club, Head, Heart, Hands, and Health. My voice began to quiver and my knees began to knock as I had to go forward to give my 4-H talk. I stared down at my paper. My throat just seemed to choke. I was too shy to stand up in front of all these folk. But somehow the words came and my voice came back big as I told the club about how to show a market pig. It was a rough feeling for a kid, I will allege, but then we all stood to recite the 4-H pledge. For head, heart, hands, and health we took the vow to pursue a better life and make the best better somehow. My 4-H journey had begun. It took me far and wide, thanks to friends and caring leaders who stood right by my side. I learned that I could give a talk, and then we had good eating. I learned I could judge livestock and preside over a meeting. Those skills would serve me well as I progressed on through my life. I found a fellow 4-H'er when I met my lovely wife. Now our kids are members of the 4-H organization, which makes them part of the 3rd generation. The members still recite the pledge and stand in unison and have recreation when the business part is done. And I see the younger members who get up for their first talk with their voice all a-quiver and their faces pale as chalk. Be assured that I will thank them and give them lots of praise, for I know that they will learn and grow throughout their 4-H days. Happy trails.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, I do hear the seeds.
See, you hear them in there, and they have been used for rattles and everything. And I got this is our haul from the other night. Baseball. There's just no end to. There is no end to the uses for these, Frank. There's just no end. And these are like little babies out here. I just pulled pulled a piece off so you could see that. All right. So I had a nice crop of these going in my barnyard. And I had picked these two. See, these are obviously the prettiest in the bunch, aren't they, Frank? Wouldn't you agree that those are the nicest? They do look like little watermelons. Yeah. All right. So I go back out the other night, and I'm going to pick these so that I can bring them in here and show them to you guys. And I go out there, and our horses have stomped all over that vine. There wasn't a thing left. I was so mad. So Dr. Jake and I get in the pickup, and we drive around the mile section right there, looking, if anybody had pulled up behind us, looking for vines. And, of course, it's almost dark, and I'm blind as a bat anyway, which is why it took me a couple of shots to shoot the snake the other day. But he spotted these, and he went out and picked these up for me. I couldn't even see them in the grass. I mean, honestly, he had to pick them all for me. But I love these things. So you can see they start drying, and I'll talk about this in the segment, all the uses, but I just think they make wonderful decorations. You can paint them. This could be a snowman, Frank.
You could make yourself a Carmen Miranda hat,
You could be replaced. You know that?
So
you're going to love seeing this gourd segment, I know. Back to the barnyard for another versatile plant lesson. This unassuming plant has many names: buffalo gourd, calabazilla, chillicote, coyote gourd, fetid wild pumpkin, Missouri gourd, prairie gourd, stinking gourd, wild gourd, and wild pumpkin. It clings to the roadsides in central and western Kansas and is ideally suited to the plains, having adapted to semi-arid climates and sandy soil. It does not require a lot of rain. One reference said that it is particularly well suited to marginal agricultural lands. According to the website Medicinal Plants of the Southwest, American Indians have used this little gourd for thousands of years. It has been used traditionally in various ways as a food, cosmetic, detergent, insecticide, and ritualistic rattle, said the site. The plant is easily recognized as being a member of the squash or gourd family by the large yellow trumpet bloom common to squash or pumpkins. It grows quickly and with a very long taproot helps hold the soil in place, though some consider it a nuisance. The taproot can be several feet long and weigh over 100 pounds. It has been used for laundry soap and shampoo. The website described medicinal uses as everything from a pain reliever to a dewormer, disinfectant to ulcer cure. As a source of food, the gourd may be cooked like squash when it is young, and the seeds may be roasted or ground into meal when the gourd browns. I pick them to dry and decorate. Since painting gourds with my granny, I have loved their versatility and beauty, and these are perfect for crafting. Like so many things beneath our feet, this common little gourd is not so common after all.
Well, we're still putting away gourds, so anyway, I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around
Kansas.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.